It's known as Bashan in the Bible, and it was taken by Moses and the Israelites even before they entered the Promised Land. When Og, king of Bashan, went out against them, the Lord said to Moses, "Do not fear him, for I have delivered him into your hand with all his people and his land." And they took possession of his land. Actually, Bashan was given to the half-tribe of Manasseh, which settled the area, and a biblical city of refuge was established called Golan. In ancient times, the area was known as Great Cattle Country, though for some reason, these animals seem to have gained a bad reputation, maybe for goring people wearing red shirts.
Up here on the Golan Heights, we have the bulls of Bashan. It says in Psalm 22, "Many bulls have surrounded me. Strong bulls of Bashan have encircled me. They gape at me with their mouths."
Golan Israeli cattle ranchers graze thousands of head of livestock on this volcanic plateau. It's prime beef country, but these modern-day bulls of Bashan have to watch out for minefields left over from past wars.
Oh, yuck! Oh, the Golan Heights is known for its landmines. I just stepped on one. You ever get the feeling you're being followed? I think every time I'm up and around the Golan Heights, cows of Bashan are following me. They're encircling me.
I can sympathize with the psalmist, but Bashan was also known for its oak forests, which survive to this day. There was a great demand for wood from these trees by shipbuilders from Tyre and Sidon on the Mediterranean coast 60 kilometers to the west of the Golan Heights.
These are the famous oaks of Bashan that actually the Phoenicians used to build their ships. We read about this tree in Ezekiel chapter 27. It says, "Your builders have perfected your beauty. They made all your planks of fir trees from Sinir. They took a cedar from Lebanon to make you a mast. Of oaks from Bashan, they made your oars."
The 1,800 square kilometer Golan Heights, including snow-capped Mount Hermon, which rises 2,800 meters above sea level, is the natural water catchment area for the Sea of Galilee. Water flows westward and southward into the freshwater lake. Along its shores, Yeshua, Jesus, ministered 20 centuries ago. A full one-third of Israel's water supply comes from the Golan, another reason why this place is so important to Israel.
The Golan is one of the principal water sources of Israel.
This spring-fed stream, forming the Ait waterfall, is one of countless sources feeding into the Sea of Galilee.
Look, Ma, no hands.
On the north, Mount Hermon is a massive limestone formation, but to its south, the Golan Heights is a volcanic plateau interspersed with dormant volcanoes and cinder cones. Volcanic basalt rock that spewed out of ancient eruptions has always been used in construction throughout the area, including Capernaum on the Sea of Galilee. The original synagogue built by the centurion at Capernaum was made of this black basalt. This round body of water, called Birkat Ram near the Druze village of Massadeh, is actually a crater lake.
After strong winter rains, this extinct volcano fills up with as much as 21 meters of water. It is one of the most important water sources for the north of Israel in the area of Mount Hermon and the Golan Heights. This place, Birkat Ram, which means pool of the high place, is actually an extinct volcano. And it is mentioned in the writings of Josephus in the Wars of the Jews, where it says, now Panium, by the way, is referred to as Banias, is thought to be the fountain of the Jordan, but in reality it is carried after an occult manner from the place called Pila. This place lies as you go up to Trechonitis. Now, in this area, they were wondering if this was actually the headwaters of the Jordan, so they tried a scientific experiment. Let's read on. And as this origin of Jordan was formerly not known, it was discovered to be when Philip was tetrarch of Trechonitis, for he had chaff thrown into Pila, and it was found at Panium, that is, Banyas, and it had therefore been carried by the waters. According to scientific method, anything to be proven must be repeatable. So I am going to do just that according to the ancients and grab some chaff and throw it into Birkat Ram and then wait at the banyas to see if it comes out on the other end. I've been waiting here at the banyas for 3 weeks. Hey, and my chaff. I found it.
Those ancient scientists would have flunked out of Haifa's Technion University. That chaff floating at banyas could have come from anywhere and could not possibly have seeped through several kilometers of stratified rock formation from Birkat Ram to the spring at the Temple of Pan.
Well, there was actually something very lacking in ancient scientific methodology.
One thing about the Golan Heights is that many of its roads are narrow compared to normal Israeli standards.
You'll notice here by the side of the road, anybody's shoulders who are less than the height of this sign are called low shoulders.
So, if that sign referred to my low shoulders, what does this one mean?
Do you want to know more about Roots and Reflections? Perhaps find out about our upcoming tours or the humanitarian work of Vision for Israel? Maybe you want to buy one of Barry and Batia's worship CDs, or download a free copy of Batia's recipes featured in the series. Well, the best place for all this is our website, rootsforyou.tv. Here you can do all this and much more. You can also sign up for our free Jerusalem on the Line newsletter that keeps you up to date with all that is happening in the news here in Israel, but from a biblical perspective. So go online today to rootsforyou.tv and start exploring all the fantastic resources we are making available. Online is also a great way to donate to this ministry and ensure that we are able to continue to bring you all the great programs you enjoy. We look forward to meeting you online today.
Jewish settlement on the Golan Heights lasted for 2 millennia, from the time of Moses until the Arab conquest of the region in 636 AD. Numerous synagogues in the area testify to this Jewish presence, which then disappeared for 1,300 years. It was only in Ottoman Turkish times, in 1891, that Baron Edmund de Rothschild purchased 20 square kilometers of Golan land for Jewish settlement. Communities were built, but in 1899, the Pasha of Damascus expelled the Jews without reimbursing Rothschild for the land. Finally, in 1967, Israel was forced to retake the heights from which the Syrian soldiers indiscriminately fired on Jewish agricultural settlements in the Hula Valley below. Israel's top spy of all time played a role in its recapture.
Eliyahu ben Shaul Cohen, an Egyptian Jew, made his way down to Argentina, where he becomes a very successful Arab businessman. What the Syrians didn't know didn't hurt them at the time. But Eli Cohen, our man in Damascus, would make his way to Syria and become a great social host, having lavish parties for the Syrian military and government officials. It was due to these relationships and connections that he would gather intelligence for the Israeli Mossad, exposing Syria's plan to divert the waterways on the Golan Heights, as well as all the military placements of Syrian defense positions. This would contribute to Israel's victory in the 1967 Six-Day War on the Golan Heights. Now, Eli Cohen, who almost became the Deputy Minister of Defense for Syria, actually toured as a civilian this area up here, probably with Syrian military officials, and he had this great idea that he suggested to the defense establishment. So that the Syrian soldiers wouldn't suffer from the summer heat, he made the recommendation that everywhere that there were clusters or defense positions or offensive positions, why not place eucalyptus trees so there would be shade and the Syrian soldiers could order virgin pina coladas, who knows? Here's one of the eucalyptus trees that was planted in the 1960s by recommendation of Eli Cohen. What a great idea he had, because everywhere the cluster of eucalyptus trees were planted, of course the Israeli pilots could spot the Syrian military positions, and of course it provided shade on one hand, but on the other hand, Eli Cohen was caught and later hung on May 18, 1965 in Martyrs Square in central Damascus, Syria, and before world media cameras. Nevertheless, to this day, his remains are still in Syria because his memory lives on as a humiliation to the history of Syria and its leadership.
We don't know exactly all the details, but the idea that we had a man that he was in Damascus, maybe he gave the courage to our leaders to make the decision to invade the Golan Heights because they shot all over the kibbutzim, the villages.
From these Syrian reinforced bunkers, gunners would shoot down upon the Israeli kibbutzim and other agricultural communities in the Hula Valley. It is precisely for this reason that Israel had to take this position in 1967.
I spoke to Avigdor Kahalani, Israel's hero of the 1973 Yom Kippur War on the Golan Heights, about Eli Cohen, and about the Six-Day War victory in which he participated.
We didn't start the war there, the reason because the people in the Hula Valley and the Jordan Valley, they scream and yell to the government that asked them to block them, and to stop them. The reason for the success at the Golan Heights, it was hard combat, and we didn't have any forces there. And we brought in 1967 one brigade, number 8, from very deep on Sinai during the war. And we moved them from the south to the north, it took 2 days. And they came close to the Golan Heights with another infantry brigade, Golani, and they attacked together, and they accomplished the mission after 24 hours. It was unbelievable. Because they came from the right side, they did a good job. We lost many soldiers.
It was hand-to-hand combat in these trenches for over 3 hours. The Israeli commander himself jumped into the trenches, fighting against the Syrian enemy soldiers until he himself sacrificed his life. He had cleared 50 meters for the rest of the soldiers. He would go on to receive posthumously the Medal of Valor. Deputy Brigade Commander Colonel Yonah Efrat had these words to say of the battle. The troops continued their attack, and it is only thanks to their insistent fighting and the penetration of a small force from the rear that the post fell after 3 hours of fighting. Israeli tanks sought to come the front away from below, but didn't succeed and were shot upon. One of the very gunners in the Israeli tanks sacrificed his life, shooting and staying in the tank until it was totally engulfed in flames. Nevertheless, this small band of Israeli fighters came from the rear as well as through the flanks and would overtake Tel Fachar until the victory had been won. This t-shirt has the emblem of the Golani Brigade. At this war memorial, we place a stone in memory of those of the Barak Battalion who gave their lives fighting for the Golan Heights, including the 32 Israeli soldiers who fell in the taking of Tel Fachar.
At Vision for Israel, we don't just minister to your spiritual needs, but we also meet the practical needs of those living in the land of Israel. Whether Jew or Arab, we aim to help. The Joseph Storehouse has been established as a channel of God's mercy through the distribution of food, medical supplies, clothing, and other necessities to those most in need. By giving to the work of the Joseph Storehouse, you enable us to both continue and grow this vital humanitarian work. Would you please give a generous one-time gift today, or become a monthly partner with us so we can meet the needs of more people in the land? Please call the number on the screen now, or go online to roots4u.tv and give generously. Your giving makes a world of difference to those in need.
In Bible times, Bashan, or the Golan, was the focus of power struggles between the kingdoms of Israel and Arameans based in Damascus. Some things don't seem to change in 3,000 years. Reminders of the 1967 and 73 wars are scattered all over the heights.
This is an American World War II vintage APC mounted with a .50 caliber machine gun used by Israel in the 1967 war.
Since the Israeli return to the land of Bashan nearly half a century ago, the Golan has prospered. Today, 4 Druze towns are nestled at the base of Mount Hermon in the north, and 35 Jewish communities are scattered around the rest of the plateau, southwards towards the Sea of Galilee.
How do you see the strategic value and the economic value, and what has been accomplished on the Golan Heights?
Golan Heights, it's, people should know that 12 miles wide and around 50 miles long. That's it. We have 33 kibbutzim, villages, and 1 town on the Nef Katzorin. We have 4 villages, Druze villages. They have around 20,000 people, and the Jew, 20,000 people around. It's a beautiful area. It's a volcanic area, agriculture area. You can travel in the Golan Heights and enjoy from the view, from the water, from the green area, from so many trees, so many fruit from any kind, and it's really beautiful. And the border is quiet. It's the quietest border in Israel. And, you know, people think about the peace treaty between them and us. And, you know, and for many, many years, our people, some leaders, they were ready to withdraw from Golan Heights. Look, if the peace between Syria and Israel would be like between Belgium and France, or Switzerland and France, and you can cross in the morning with the car and get gas at another side and go back. And so this kind of peace, we can discuss about the future of this area. Until then, we should be there.
The Druze emerged as a religious grouping 1,000 years ago, and it was during the Crusader period in the 12th century that the Druze emerged as a powerful warrior group serving the Muslim rulers of Damascus against the Crusades. It was at this time that Nimrod's castle was built on the slopes of Mount Hermon as a defensive bastion against the European invaders. Today the Druze live in Syria, Lebanon, and Israel. Their main prophet is Jethro, Moses' father-in-law. Back at Birkat Ram, it's time for a food break at the Druze Restaurant.
There's nothing like it on all the Golan Heights. You've got to come and make this a stop every time you visit. We're here at one of my favorite places in all of the Golan Heights in Birkat Ram, and we're going to taste pita druzit up here in the Druze village. And of course, the pita has already been made. It's actually kosher for Pesach too. And she's gonna go ahead and heat it up, and then we're gonna have lebanais on it. Lebanais, it's just wonderful. It's a sour kind of cheese. So the liquidy substance is fresh olive oil with za'atar in it, and it's rolled and then heated. And we see the green veggies there. That's petrozelia or parsley. Olives. Oh, they're the best. They're absolutely divine. When you come and you get a pita druzit with lebanais, you want to fill up on salads like pickled cauliflower. Oh, it's piping hot. Look at the smoke coming off. Wow. We're gonna sit down and eat this. Wow. It's so hot, but but it's gonna be so tasty. One for me. And one for you. This is harif. Harif means spicy or hot sauce. Harif. Don't forget that word. The restaurant at Birkat Ram, well, service for a king. The Druze really know how to take good care of you. From the Lebanese to the Druze pita, all the way to the cafe.
Have you ever wanted to come and experience firsthand the land of Israel, to walk the footsteps of Yeshua, or to gain a greater understanding of the Bible? At Roots and Reflections, we want to see that desire fulfilled. We run regular tours to Israel and would be delighted to host you, your family and friends for the opportunity of a lifetime as you come and experience the land of the Bible with us. Perhaps you've toured before and now want to come back. We also have a special tour just for you. If you'd like the opportunity to come with us on a never-to-be-forgotten tour of Israel, then register your interest today to receive regular updates on our forthcoming tours. Either call the number on the screen, email us at barry@rootsforyou.tv, or go to our website and register. We'll then send you details of the next tour we have running. Our tours are always oversubscribed, so register your interest now, and we'll see you in Israel.
The Golan Heights is rich in agriculture. Druze farmers specialize in raising apples and cherries near Mount Hermon. Their Jewish counterparts concentrate more on olives and grapes, producing some of Israel's best wines. Talking about food has made me hungry again, so let's join Batya for some Yemenite cuisine in our Word of the Week.
Shalom. The word of the week is harif. Can you all say harif? Harif. Okay, harif means hot, spicy. So I know that this recipe is not for all of you, but to some of you. Schug is a Yemenite dip. It's very, very hot. It's called schug. So harif, hot and spicy, and schug. Can everybody say schug? Schug. So good. Now we're going to go into the ingredients of what we're going to put into the schug. Schug, as I said, is a Yemenite dip. We're going to go and show you exactly what goes inside the blender. We will have hot peppers, hot. Then we're going to have cilantro. It looks like parsley, but it's not parsley, it's cilantro. And then we're going to have some green hot peppers, garlic, of course. Then we're going to have cardamom. We're going to have cumin, and black pepper, and salt. If you do this dish, I recommend that you put gloves in your hands because they can become very, very hot. So if you touch your eyes or you touch your nose, it can be very uncomfortable. So I'm warning you, this is a hot dish, harif as we say, and we like to use this harif dish and put it in on spaghetti sauce, or we put it on cheese, melted cheese, on pizzas, on any kind of dish you can eat. Just make it really nice and yummy. The cilantro chopped, we're going to put it in here. We'll add the garlic to it. So we're going to be chopping the garlic. I would say for one bundle of cilantro, we will use maybe 4, 5, maybe even 6 cloves of garlic. We put it in the blender. We're going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of black pepper. You notice that I'm using the real seeds of pepper. This is cumin and a little bit of cardamom. Everybody say cardamom. That's what gives it a nice... Now, let's put the peppers, the hot peppers. Green hot peppers, it just will add a little bit more spiciness to it. I'll put some of the red peppers. Harif. Okay, I'll just put a little bit of olive oil and we'll start chopping this. Now, in some countries, harif is sharp. I think in Germany they say sharp. And you know, harif is also sharp for somebody that is smart. So we say he is very harif, which means he's very smart. So excuse the noise. Okay, it's done. You see when it gets mixed? Wow. Let's see. Ooh, I want to taste it. Wow. This is really spicy, but it's delicious. Really, really delicious. Mmm, yummy. Very good. But it's very, very hot. I'm warning you. I just wanted to say that when you use your blender for something so hot and spicy, the best way to clean it is with baking soda. So when you wash your dish after you use your blender, just put baking soda with warm water, shake it very, very well, let it sit maybe for a few hours, and all the smell and all the fragrance will go away.
What is that? Is that schrug?
No, I think this is something sweet you need to try.
Sweet? Mmm. Sure doesn't smell sweet to me. Wow. Cha-cha-cha. That is harif.
Real harif, huh?
That's hot.
You like it?
Oh, it's great. I mean,
I think Barry married me because I'm Yemenite and I can make this harif dish.
Wow. But it's hot. I need to put the fire out in my mouth.